Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Fleet Geeks podcast. Again, with myself, John, and not Pete. I'll give him the reins maybe next week. We'll see how it goes. He might have got fed up and just jetted off on holiday again. But this week we are joined with Amanda Duffy from Darcica Logistics, and she's going to be talking us through Mission Zero from an operator's perspective, what it means to an operator. We just had last two podcasts with Paul Grafton and Sean Winstanley from Mission Zero talking about what Mission Zero is and audit standards for an operator and how to get accredited. But now we're going to look at it from an operator's point of view. So yeah, feel free to introduce yourself, Amanda.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I am the Operations Director here at Darcica Logistics. Darcica was one of the first in the UK to achieve Mission Zero accreditation, equivalent to 4 silver, and that included also the sustainability modules that were aligned to the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So that was a great achievement for ourselves here at Darcica. Being a business that's very much around sustainability, it was important for us to include those modules. So it's great to have found an accreditation scheme that not only just looks at work-related road risk, but also brings sustainability into it too.
And what about Darcica based?
Darcica Logistics is based in Bicester. We've got a warehouse and a mixed fleet of electric vans, and then we've got 7.5, 18-ton and 44-ton trucks. We deliver parcels on same-day deliveries. We've got 15,000 square foot warehouse. And then we're also part of the Palletways network as well, which is where the HGVs come into play.
Okay, so quite a big organisation then, and it's great to see that you're a Mission Zero approved operator. So what we'll be looking at is the Mission Zero side of things. And my first question is, looking at it to an operator perspective, how easy is it for an operator to join Mission Zero?
Yeah, so it's very easy. On the website, it's got a part on there which is just purely to sign up now. Upon signing up, which was really easy to do, you can book your audit. It's quite an intuitive website, minimal clicks to get your desired outcome, so to speak. But yeah, it was a very easy process, and also just calling up anyone on the team. They're very easy to get hold of. So if there was any queries or anything, they were there at the end of the phone.
Okay, and to get accredited, from an operator's perspective, how much work was in it for the accreditation, and how easy or hard was it, or how many sleepless nights surrounding accreditation was there?
So no, there's a lot of resources that are available on the Mission Zero portal. So once you've signed in, which is obviously free, there's, as an operator, you're spending less time writing policies, and you've got all that time then to implement them because the policies are already written for you. It's just a matter of going through, reading through it to make sure what applies to you is within there, and what doesn't apply to you, you've obviously removed out. So it's really good in that sense. You've got templates to use for various different things. So eyesight checks, driver declarations, health declarations, all that sort of stuff. So you've got templates already made for you. So it's just a matter of implementing everything. So in regards to preparing for the audit, once you've had a read through the standard, it's quite helpful. And then from there, you're on the ground running. Okay,
and from a driver's perspective, you're introducing stuff such as eyesight checking and stuff. Is there a bit of a buy-in from the drivers then? Do the drivers understand why the operator wants that Mission Zero? Sometimes drivers can be a little bit like, oh, it's just a tick box exercise and stuff, but what's the buy-in from the driver's perspective?
Yeah, so as part of our induction process, we do day one is an induction with the drivers, and it covers off our Mission Zero accreditation, including what it means to us as a business and why we do it. And effectively, it's to protect the driver to make sure that when they are getting into their vehicle, they can see they are in a fit condition to be able to drive, they're not under the influence, and just really going into the detail of why we do it. It not just protects Darcica as a business, but it protects drivers as well, just to make sure that mentally and physically they're able to carry out their duties as a professional driver. And I think once you've had that conversation with them, it really does break down barriers.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. And that's it. And they see that it's there to benefit them as well. And it's not just something that they've got to do, sort of thing. Now, what made you choose Mission Zero over the other alternatives out there?
I think with Mission Zero, it was the fact that it's a new accreditation scheme that had come into the marketplace. Darcica was involved very much at the beginning when Mission Zero was first launched, and they've since then renewed their accreditation. I think this is going to be the third year, I think, actually. So it's a scheme that was very close to Anthony's heart, which is the director and owner of Darcica. So we've maintained that. It's a good working relationship with the team at Mission Zero. We do find that the audit is a lot more in depth. So, for example, similar other accreditation schemes, they don't go as in depth when it comes to the compliance side of things. So, for example, 15 months worth of vehicle records, they're physically recording 15 months. And if there's any gaps there, it's going to highlight it straight away. Also, for your driver's hours and working time records, they're going back as far as the 24 months for that data.
Yeah.
You know, physically going on and getting you to check on the vehicle operator licensing so that you can check that the vehicles that should be associated to that operating centre are there. So it's a lot more in depth, and it's your legal requirements that are more focused on. And then because it's obviously includes best practice as well, that's obviously part of it. And it's a great way of covering all aspects as well as legal compliance and best practice.
Hello, it's Shani from Flagship Partners. We are really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. If you need expert advice or training for your fleet business, make Flagship Partners your first choice. We are really excited to announce the launch of our Transport Manager Academy. With expert development for fleet leaders, we offer fully accredited initial Transport Manager CPC training, CPC refresher, and operator license awareness training, as well as mentoring, support, and professional development beyond the qualification. Our vision is to develop elite fleet professionals.
Yeah, so it really good insight there. So not only do you get the accreditation, but you also get that peace of mind in knowing that you are as compliant with the legal undertakings of an operator's license as you can be, and that there are no gaps with that as well. Okay, so for yourselves as an operator, what does it mean to be Mission Zero accredited? Have you found any more work from it, or has it helped you win contracts potentially?
Yes, so because obviously Mission Zero has got the equivalence to FORS Gold, there are certain HS2 sites that we do deliver to, and that's a requirement to have that accreditation. And where they now stipulate that it can be FORS Silver or equivalent, that's where Mission Zero steps in, and it's enable us to be able to deliver to those sites.
So you can get in there with, you can, instead of having different accreditations, it all comes under one, which is better and a lot more cost effective as well, but also time effective in terms of less paperwork and less management of different standards.
Yeah, like I say, you've got less time writing the policies because there's so many resources available to you, that your time is then just spent actually implementing them and making sure that you're doing everything that you need to be doing.
Okay. And then in terms of driver training as well, we've touched in the previous podcast about different driver training standards. How do the drivers feel sort of with the training process? Is it something that drivers enjoy? I mean, we look at sort of driver CPC and it's always met with sort of rolled eyes and stuff. The training standards for the Mission Zero, how are they?
Yeah, so it's been well received by the drivers. From ourselves, obviously, as a Mission Zero accredited operator, we then get reduced costs in regards to the training. So we did have the team come out and do virtual reality training for the safe urban driving element. So that was great. And obviously, as an operator, having that cost benefit in the fact that it's reduced being an operator, it also gives you a cost benefit to joining the scheme and being a part of it too. So yeah, the drivers are very well received. They've very much well received everything. The toolbox talks that are available online are really good as well. As a sustainable business, we're moving a lot more to digital digital ways of doing things and recording things that are being communicated with the drivers. So from that aspect, it's really good as well.
Okay, perfect. And then in terms of other operators that were wishing to join the program, have you got any advice for them? Any tips?
Don't delay, join today. Yeah, it's a really good scheme to join and be a part of. Obviously, I have been involved in Mission Zero from the beginning, so I suppose it is a scheme that's going to be closer to my heart than maybe others. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, they've got a great blended audit approach where you can upload your documents prior to the audit, which is really good. The portal is really intuitive and user friendly. It's minimal clicks to get the outcome that you want. Uploading stuff before the actual audit date itself, I think is great. Just because then the day of the actual audit, you're spending time with the auditor and maybe benefiting more from it, as opposed to them sitting there reading through your multiple policies and taking insurance details and writing down your certificate on your transport manager CPC. So because they've got all that in advance, it reduces your audit time on the day, which means operationally as a business we can get on with the day. But also if there's any other questions or anything like that, that can be raised at the time as well. And it's just a really friendly educational auditor approach.
Yeah, as opposed to the auditors coming in, they're getting a good feel for the business because they've already seen some documents beforehand as well.
Yeah, so that's it. They can get a real feel for what they're walking into. Whereas if nothing's been uploaded in advance or they're seeing somebody else's name splashed all over the policy, they know what they're walking into. So it gives them a bit of a heads up.
Of course, yeah. Okay. And then what does the future look like for Darcica then with the Mission Zero in that sense? Your reaccreditations, have you reached all of the standards that Mission Zero offer?
Yeah, so I'm actually in preparation for our Mission Zero audit at the moment. So for myself, I've sort of sat on both sides of the desk with Mission Zero, which is nice, but it's just great to see how much it's growing. Darcica intends to very much be having a long-term relationship with Mission Zero, continue renewing our accreditation with them and working with them, including taking advantage of obviously the reduced training costs that come with it as being an accredited operator, which is great. Being able to be part of the virtual reality as well is really good. Again, it reduces that safety element, not getting the drivers to go out on the bikes and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a long-term relationship between Darcica and Mission Zero.
You say it's great stuff, but essentially you could almost say that it's free for an operator, because if you look and you think the money that you're spending for your audit, you're getting that back in reduced training costs. So if you were to look at it that way from an operator, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Certainly for your smaller operators as well. Like Paul said on the last podcast, I think it was, in regards to up to 10 vehicles is free. There's no accreditation cost. You're just paying for your audit. I mean, that in itself is well worthwhile. You've got a documented full compliance audit to demonstrate to the traffic commissioner, God forbid at any point, that, you know, this has been carried out. So you are being proactive instead of reactive. So there's also that element of it as well, which is always good for an operator to be able to demonstrate.
Proactive always beats reactive in my eyes. So yeah, no, perfect. And again, guys, for anybody that's listening, there'll be a link to Mission Zero and also Darcica's website in the podcast link for anybody wanting to have a little look. But also, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, Amanda, and ask you some questions from an perspective, how could they do that?
LinkedIn, you might have seen me on there kicking about a little bit. Also through Darcica's website, either or.
Perfect. So guys, that ties up our Mission Zero trilogy. A massive thank you to Paul, Sean and Amanda. Hopefully you have found it useful. Again, feel free to reach out to the guys if we've not answered any questions. But yeah, thank you for listening. And I'm pretty sure the next podcast will be back with Pete anyway. So thank you for putting up with me. See you later, guys.
Sure.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.